Hello dear students, welcome to 10th Standard Geography Unit 11 Indian Natural Disasters. Before going ahead with the chapter, let's get these questions clarified. Will you guess which is the natural disaster shown in the picture? Yes dear students, you are exactly right. It is cyclone. Will you guess which is this natural disaster shown in the picture? Yes, you are exactly right. It is floods. Will you guess which is this natural disaster shown in the picture? Yes, it is earthquake. Name the natural disaster when the wind blows spirally inwards towards the center of low pressure. Yes, dear students, it's cyclone. In this unit, you will learn meaning of natural disaster, cyclone, its causes, effects, distribution and preventive measures. In this unit, you continue to learn the causes for the floods, its effects, flood prone areas in India, flood control measures and landslide, its causes, effects, landslide distribution in India and the preventive measures taken to prevent landslides. Coastal erosion, its causes, distribution, coastal erosion especially in southern area due to southwest monsoon, tropical cyclone and tsunami. Coastal erosion effects and preventive measures. Earthquake, its causes, earthquake effects, earthquake distribution in India, earthquake precautionary measures to be taken to minimize its effects. Let's discuss the meaning of natural disasters. The natural hazards which create widespread destruction are known as natural disasters. Dear students, in our day-to-day life, we see a lot of disasters in and around our area. Natural disasters are those disasters which occur naturally. Disasters may be natural or sometimes man-made. Natural disasters can be geological hazards, for example, earthquake, volcano and tsunamis, landslides, even avalanches. The weather associated natural disasters are cyclones, drought, floods and epidemics. They are associated with the natural disasters that occur naturally. India is a vast country and it has been facing various natural disasters such as cyclones, floods, landslides, coastal erosion, earthquakes, etc. from the beginning. Cyclone. Let's discuss more about it. In a cyclone, the wind blows spirally inwards towards the center of low pressure. This disaster is associated with the atmosphere. There are two types of cyclones, namely tropical cyclone and temperate cyclones. Specially, why the cyclones are caused? The cyclones are caused mainly due to high temperature, calm air and highly saturated air. Let's see the effects of cyclone. Tropical cyclones are very destructive that cause loss of life and property, damage to buildings, transports and communication system. They even disrupt power supply, destroy vegetation and cause the death of animals. In India, most of the tropical cyclones develop in Bay of Bengal. Hence, the eastern coast is more prone to cyclone. It includes the coastal areas of Tamil Nadu, Andhra Pradesh, Odisha and West Bengal. Dear students, when we compare the Arabian Sea belt and the Bay of Bengal belt, we are going to see more cyclone prone areas in the Bay of Bengal. Cyclone preventive measures. Now, what are the measures to be taken to prevent the impact or the effect of cyclones? They should keep in touch with radio, television and other communicative lines, especially those people who live in the cyclone prone areas, they are supposed to go ahead with being in touch with mass media. Temporary shelters should be provided during the cyclones. Mangrove forests and other deep rooted trees can be grown along the coastline to check the impact of cyclonic winds and soil erosion. Cyclones mainly occur due to the variation in pressure. At one area it will be low pressure, at another area it will be high pressure, and always the air moves from high pressure area to low pressure area. When this is very severe, it leads to cyclone. Cyclones are going to have a severe impact as they are going to move with great force. They are going to lead in carrying the clouds and getting very high rainfall with gushing air force. Especially cyclones are going to have a very high speed. It differs from area to area, and the coastal belts are the one which are going to get affected severely. It leads to the damage of buildings, it leads to the destruction of various human made constructions, and even it affects the vegetation. Especially its gushing force leads to the severe rainfall, which is going to affect the various landforms too. Cyclones are not of just recent past. From the time of immemorial, we are going to see different cyclones in different oceans, and they are going to lead to various kinds of destructions. The areas are the countries that are in the coastal belt or in the ocean, it is going to get affected. Especially in different oceans, we are going to see different cyclones mainly affects the habitat, various aspects of human constructions, and even it leads to the destruction of not only the man-made, even the natural life. In different continents, it is called by different names, but how the cyclones originate? The cyclones originate specially in variation of pressure and temperature. Whenever temperature changes, it leads to the variation in pressure, leading to the cyclones. Floods are the another prominent natural disasters. Flood refers to the inundation of land by the river. It is a recurring disaster in India. It means it keeps on occurring again and again in India. The natural factors include which causes the floods are melting of the snow, tropical cyclones, cloudburst, blockage of the free flow of river water, and silting of the river beds. Silting of the river bed means various kinds of waste get deposited on the beds of the river. The other causes for the floods are the man-made causes such as deforestation, faulty irrigation and agricultural practices, breaching of barrages and rapid urbanization. What are the effects of floods? Let us see. Floods causes loss of life and property. They damage crops and vegetation. They break down communication and power system. They even dislocate the transport system. Soil erosion, disruption of essential services are the other effects of floods. Flood prone areas. The Ganga and Brahmaputra river basins, what you people are able to see in the map. The Satluj, Bees, Ravi, Chenab river basins, they are the flood prone areas. In peninsula, when we come to South India, we are going to see the deltaic areas basins and the lower parts of the Narmada and Tapi river basins. They are the areas which are frequently affected by the floods. What are the measures to control the floods? Floods control measures are as follows. First one, we need to go ahead with afforestation, means we need to plant more and more trees. Second one, construction of dams across the rivers and storing of water in reservoirs. Construction of embankments for the agricultural lands. They are the bunds which we need to put, and flood forecasting and early warnings should be given using the modern technology. Floods are the inundation of water over the land, and these floods are going to be very destructive. They not only damage the man-made constructions, they even lead to the erosion of soil, erosion of natural vegetation, leading to the large scale death of animals, human beings and various other creatures. Floods are caused mainly due to heavy rainfall, cloudburst and various reservoirs breaking. You can experience the floods leading to the damage of human life, and a lot of death occurs due to floods, and it is a very common scene wherever the floods occur. The damage of property and vegetation is seen. Floods are the very widespread natural disasters, especially wherever the rivers exist and wherever the heavy rainfall occurs. Floods lead to the damage of public property, and also it affects a large scale construction, and even it is going to take toll on the life of the people. It affects the normal life of the people by getting the roads, dams, bridges being damaged, and it leads to various kinds of relocating, reshifting of the people, because floods wane away everything they get in their path. Floods are going to have severe impact on the normal life of the people, and it will take a lot of time to get the life of the people in the flood prone areas to come back to normal. It is the major kind of natural disaster. Floods affect not only the normal life of the people, it takes away the industries, agricultural land, vegetation, whatever comes in its way. It even affects the animal life in the forest areas wherever the floods occur. Floods are going to cause a severe impact on the people life and all those rural and urban areas. Next prominent natural disaster is landslide. The sliding of the land mass along the steep slopes of hills or mountains is called as landslide. You can see it in the picture how a landslide has blocked a railway track. It is a prominent natural disaster which is caused due to cutting of the slope, as in sea wave erosion, a sea cliff, earthquake, and even due to heavy rainfall. You can watch it in the picture. The other causes such as human forces, deforestation, construction of roads, railway lines, dams and reservoirs, hydel power projects, mining, quarrying, etc. also lead to landslides, especially when these activities are done in the hilly areas where high mountains are there, we are going to experience these landslides. What are the effects of landslides? Landslides are destructive natural disasters. Major effects are blocking of roads, railway lines, burying of human settlements and vegetation, loss of life and property. Roads blocking is very common problem that we are going to notice. Landslides distribution in India, you can see it in the picture, especially in India it occurs especially in the hilly areas of Jammu and Kashmir, Himachal Pradesh and in the eastern states and even in the particular Western Ghats, you people are able to notice them. Landslides preventive measures. Now, what measures can be taken to prevent the landslides? First thing, slope reduction. Wherever we construct any sort of human settlements, the slope reduction should be there. Prevention of rockfalls along the highways and other slopes. Avoiding mining and quarrying activities near the steep slopes and human settlements. Building should be restricted in the mountain areas. Above all, we should go ahead with rapid reforestation or afforestation. Landslides. Landslides are mainly caused due to the erosion of the base of the hilly areas. Wherever the hilly areas are there, whenever there are cloud bursts, there are heavy rainfall or cyclonic effect, it may lead to landslide. Landslide even occurs due to coastal erosion, especially the mountain areas or the hilly areas. Wherever hilly areas are located, we are going to see these landslides. They are going to affect the transport, communication and even the regular normal life of the people, as they block the roadways, railways and they affect the human settlements. Landslides are the major disasters. They are going to cause the death and destruction of property, especially in the hilly areas. In the hilly areas, the people are supposed to look into the landslide incidents and provision, and they need to get their homes, their dwellings to be constructed away from the steep slope areas, especially whenever there are heavy rain and cyclonic effect, it may lead to landslide. And many a times the mining, quarrying, these are also the activities of the human which are going to lead to landslide. Earthquake also leads to the landslides. Landslides are very common in the hilly areas and it is going to affect the entire life of the people in the hilly areas, especially in the Himalayan belt, in the Western Ghat belt. Very commonly we are going to witness the landslides. Whenever the landslides occur, they are going to have influence on the transport, communication and even with the regular life of the people who stay in the hilly areas. Many of the human settlements are being affected by the landslides. Landslides are mainly due to the earthquakes, coastal erosion and heavy rainfall, and usually they lead to a lot of loss of life and property. Another important natural disaster is coastal erosion. Sea waves continuously strike the coasts with great force, which leads to coastal erosion. Coastal erosion is the process of wearing away and removal of materials along the coastline by wave action. It is a continuous process. Coastal erosion is mostly caused by sea waves and ocean currents. Let's see its causes. In India, the major causes for the coastal erosion are first one monsoon winds, then tropical cyclones, and then we have tsunamis. Coastal erosion causes, let's see how the monsoon winds are going to cause it. Especially the southwest monsoon winds cause intensive coastal erosion along the coast of India, which are very destructive. Second one is tropical cyclones are destructive and mostly occur during the northeast monsoon seasons over the Bay of Bengal. Especially in the Bay of Bengal associated or attached areas such as Bengal, Odisha, Tamil Nadu, they are the areas which are affected by the coastal erosion. Tsunamis are large waves generated by earthquakes. The coastal erosion occurs due to tsunamis in India. Andaman and Nicobar Islands, east coast of India have been affected by tsunamis. Human interference also leads to coastal erosion such as removal of sand and construction of breakwater are the main causes for the coastal erosion. Coastal areas including trees and building can be washed away. The prominent other effects are the roads, railway lines, bridges along the coast can be damaged. Coastal areas can remain flooded over a long period, creating a lot of issues related to resettlement of the people and other deadly diseases. Coastal erosion, what preventive measures can be taken? Constructing sea walls, groins and breakwaters to protect the coastal areas from the wave erosion. Restrict sand mining in the coastal areas. Planting of trees to stabilize the beaches and the coastal dunes. These are the preventive measures which we can take to prevent the coastal erosion. The most prominent natural disaster is earthquake. What is an earthquake? An earthquake is a violent vibration in the earth's crust. Earthquake occur due to several causes such as tectonic plate movements, volcanic eruption, faulting and folding of landslides, collapse of underground cave roofs, hydrostatic pressure and man-made water bodies like reservoirs breakdown and overstoring of water. They are the one that causes earthquake. The disastrous effect of earthquakes are cracking of the ground surface, damage and destruction of buildings, rails, roads, power lines, telecom lines, bridges, dams, factories and even loss of human and animal lives and property at a large scale. These are the effects of earthquakes. Earthquake distribution in India, especially the Himalayan zone, the Indo-Gangetic zone and the Peninsula zone are the three zones where we are going to frequently witness the earthquakes. What are the preventive measures to be taken to avoid the impact or the effects of earthquake to the maximum extent? First thing, avoid the human settlements in the earthquake prone zones. Second one, follow earthquake resistant designs for the construction of buildings. Use building materials of high quality. Restrict the over groundwater mining. Thus, we need to go ahead with having a survey of earthquake prone areas and have the human settlements away from earthquake prone areas. Especially, we need to go ahead with more and more precautionary measures when it comes to the matter of earthquake prone areas. Now dear students, it is the time for home assignments. We need to go ahead with the questions. You need to answer the textbook questions with the fill up the blanks. The most destructive atmospheric disaster is, these are the textbook fill up the blanks exercises found in page number 119. You need to refer your textbook and answer. In India, the eastern coast is more prone to. You need to go ahead with the fill up the blank. In Peninsula India, which natural disaster occurs occasionally? Dear students, these are the textbook fill up the blanks found in page number 119. You need to answer them. In this unit, you learnt the meaning of natural disaster. Let's recall it. What is natural disaster? Natural disaster is the large scale destruction that occurs naturally. What are the causes for natural disaster? It may be natural or man-made. What are the effects of natural disaster? And the distribution, that is where all this natural disaster is found, and what are the preventive measures taken to prevent them. Especially we discussed about cyclones, their meaning, causes, effects, floods, their meaning, causes, effects, and where all it is spread in India. Landslides, their meaning, causes, effects, and where all they located in India. Coastal erosion, where it occurs, what are its effects. Earthquake, what are its causes and what are its effects in India, where all it is occurring. Yes, dear students, now it is the time for home assignments. Answer the following questions. First question, explain the causes and effects of landslides. You need to write the causes and effects of landslides separately. Write about the causes and distribution of coastal erosion in India. You need to write the points why and how this coastal erosion occurs, that is the causes, and in India where all the coastal erosion occurs. Especially third question, mention the precautionary measures to be taken to reduce the effects of earthquakes. What precautionary measures the government and the people need to take and follow to prevent or reduce the effects of earthquakes. Thank you, dear students. This is your Sharan Basappa SM, Assistant Master, Carmel High School, Judges Colony, Bashveshwanagar, Bengaluru 560079, North 1. Thank you.